Okay, how to talk to kids about money. I'm going to share with you the 4 guidelines we use in our house when it comes to talking to our kids about money and the relationship that we have with money. These came from my financial and manifestation coach. So we've been using these for a while and they are really important to us because as someone who grew up with a very unhealthy relationship with money and I had to completely rewire it in order to, you know, have abundance come into my life, have money come into my life. I'm really, 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 cautious of the seeds that I'm planting in my kids' minds when it comes to money. All right. So whenever our kids are from ages 0 to 7, that is when their subconscious is the most wide open. They're in sponge mode, they're absorbing everything. So, what we plant now is really, really, really important. Okay. So, if you want to plant good stories, now's the time to do it whenever they are between that age. That way, they don't have to rewire themselves when they get older. Okay. And remember, the reality that you are planting in them is just a projection of your reality. Okay. So, if it's good or bad, that's what they're going to project in their future. So remember, if there's never enough, there's never enough. If there's always enough, there's always enough. It just depends on your abundance mindset. Okay. This is why this is really important to instill in kids in a very young age. It will help them grow up and be successful and have a healthy relationship with money. That is the goal. So here's our top 4 guidelines that we use in our house to talk to our kids about money. Number one would be we never, say things like, that's too expensive and we can't afford that. And what I mean by this is whether that may be true or not, we never use phrases like that. Because for kids, whenever they are hearing this repeatedly and repeatedly, say you're at the store and they want something and you say, we can't afford that, or, that's too expensive over time, what they are actually hearing is, I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy of that. Okay, so this is really, 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 if think about that as a kid, if you're thinking, I'm not worthy of these things, and you grow up believing all of that, and you self-sabotage anytime something good happens. I know because I did it. I lived that. I was told that all the time when I was a kid. Okay, so those phrases are really detrimental to the future. So saying things like, you know, what do I want to say? Like whenever you go to the store, and then they want something and you say, and you're thinking like, well, we can't really afford that, this is a really good chance to use goals as a method for them to learn. As in, you know what? Yeah, we can absolutely get that. Let's make a plan to make that happen. Okay. So things like that, you can rework this. Obviously, every situation is different. So kind of get some of your own things that flow with your family's values and what you are doing. Okay. The second thing would be to get them managing their own money early. Let them, make mistakes, and have those lessons early on in life. And obviously, this is like an age appropriate thing as to what you can teach them or what you can allow them to do, with their money. So always lead by example though. So never condemn them for, maybe they did spend all their money on Play-Doh and now they're really mad because they can't buy the other thing. Just lead by example. Maybe you save 10% of your money or you spend 10% of your money on yourself every month. Whatever it is, just keep those good money habits as an example for your kids. That way they know what to do whenever they mess up. Okay. And I don't want to say mess up, but they learn whenever they are going through the learning phase. And it's a lot easier for them to learn at a very young age than it is when they are, say, in their 20s, like me, right? The third thing would be to set boundaries, not limitations. So again, this kind of goes back to, the whole expensive thing. So whenever I say set boundaries, not limitations, I mean, don't tell them what they can and can't have, but use it in a way of, like I said, let's plan a way to make that happen for you. And even if it takes a long time, it might take them a year till they get that thing. But when they do, they're going to be more goal oriented and they're going to be more disciplined. So this is teaching self-discipline. Eventually, if they're so young, it might come out that they don't even care about it anymore by that point. Okay. So it's just about setting up, different goals and strategies for them to reach those goals. And this is going to just get their minds started, at a young age at a really goal oriented mindset, which is really great. And then the fourth thing would be, when kids ask, how do you make money? The way that we project that onto our kids is that you make money by adding your value to the world. So it's not a, well, you have to be a doctor to be rich. You have to do this to be rich. You know, you'll never have that. It's not anything like that. It's adding your value to the world and your authentic self. That's how you make money. Okay. So by them adding their value to the world, they will be paid for it. Some of you might agree with this, some of you might not, but in my case, this is true. In a lot of people's cases, this is true, right? Like millions and millions and millions of people. Okay. Whenever you are living in alignment with your purpose, you know, your passions, all the things, like the money chases you. Okay. And then your kids naturally, you know, throughout this process, they kind of naturally have this entrepreneurial mindset, you know, as they grow up to be able to create money the way that they want to create it. So it's really awesome. And, you know, as Carter, he's only 5, but I see those traits in him already, which is wonderful. So these are what we do in our home. I hope this helped, and I'll be sharing more tips on things like this soon. And I am going to be adding a tab to my website for unschooling, all the things, you know, and I'm going to put this and stuff like this in there as well so that we can all have a resource to go to and to just, you know, have to go to to look back on, you know, because, you know, this parenting thing, it takes it takes work, right? So the more resources we have as parents, the more successful we can be. So I hope you guys like this, and please like, please share, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.